Hello, my name is Raven. Welcome back to my channel. And if you do enjoy my content, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And today I'm going to be reading to you guys a poem I wrote a year ago called You Saved Me. And basically, I'm stating how poetry saved my life. Well, I feel poetry and my kids saved my life because if I didn't have a place to let out my frustrations or emotions, I don't know where I would be really. So here goes. I feel like poetry saved my life. I never cut myself with a knife. My version of suicide is to sleep and never wake up, even for all this chaos of this breakup. I never thought much of my poems. It wasn't a place I called home. I always felt it took me to a dark place. I was so afraid of this space. So I would stop and try to cope, but I was not able to keep afloat. Then I started with a simple poem competition, finally a taste of redemption. I met this friend who told me to put my writings in more places, a chance where it can be seen by different faces. There were times I would pray. I didn't want this pain to stay. I told Lord Jesus I'm lost, too many battles I have fought. But as soon as I was able to open up more and look within my core, I accepted myself to just keep writing, no matter how bad. And now I became so glad because I'm no longer sad, I'm no longer mad. The secret I have found out that poetry's always been in my heart, right from the start. I just started to feel this spark, just like two lovers who fell in love and walks in the park. And everything in this poem is really true. Like in the beginning, where it says, "My version of suicide is to sleep," which is true because I always imagine myself if I were to die, that's how I would want to die, if that makes sense. Not that I want to do that to myself. And it's kind of funny this past time when I was in tropical, which I'm not anymore, just because I didn't feel like the medicines were really helping me. I felt like my symptoms were getting worse instead of getting better. So I took it upon myself to not have any contact with them. And I don't think they're a bad place. I just think for a lot of things, in my case, they will say, "Oh, we can't help with that," and I'm like, "Wait, you're my doctor. What do you mean you can't help with that?" You know. And then when one of the last conversations I had with them, when they're basically stating, "Well, if you did commit suicide, do you have a plan?" And I just was like, "Huh? The who? Me have a plan? No." I go, "Oh yes. Let me tell you, my plan is X, Y, and Z." I'm like, "No," but that was the only thing I thought of in my head. But yeah, and for a long time, especially when I was younger, around 15, writing poetry, I would write it, but then I would get so afraid because it put me in this really dark place. Like, I was even afraid of it. And that's why I always stay away from poetry. I'm like, no, I can't write. Every time I write, it's about something dark, negative. Like, I don't want to do this. It wasn't until my breakup with Bella's dad, which was about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, more or less, that I started to get back into poetry and not to be afraid and just to keep going and just accept the fact that this is the type of poetry I write. I write about emotional stuff, heartbreak, anger, whatever, and I shouldn't feel afraid of me writing about those kind of things. And funny part when I was 15, doing the poem competition, which is by Wayne and Ever Publishing. When they had wrote me back the first time, I think I had wrote a poem about dreams. I can't remember, so long ago. And the first thing they go is like, you write about immortal things, and I was like, okay. It's like you're classified in this box that's like, okay, you're in this area. And I did have a friend, like he would try to push me to put my poems in other places, and I will thank him for that part. He was always supportive of my poetry stuff, so I do thank him for that. At first I thought, "Are you crazy?" He's like, yeah, put them on Instagram, put them on Facebook. I go, you crazy. Until I finally did it. And with my poetry has been just accepting myself and accepting what I like to write about. Because I know a lot of people, they will even tell me like, why do you write about relationships? Why do you write about that? That's boring. And I'll be like, I'm going to write whatever I want to write about. We're not going to tell me what I should and what shouldn't write about. And that's how I feel. And this poem does take me back because I hadn't been really doing nothing with poetry because I was in a dark place. Well, I've been in a dark place for almost a year, actually. It's kind of funny because no one would really notice because I do my nails, my hair, my makeup, but inside I was dying, you know, emotionally. So I didn't want to do really anything or even any poetry. It's like I quit, I give up, I'm done. Until like recently I started to go back to it because it's like no matter what happens to me, I feel like poetry is the one thing that's never left me. It's always there. So that kept me going. Oh, and I recently got this email because I think close to a year ago, this lady had emailed me that she was working on a book. And in that book, she wanted me to talk about what I go through with psychosis because, as you guys know, if you see previous videos of mine, I have mentioned that my disorder is major depression with psychotic features and generalized anxiety. And the psychotic features part, psychosis, which I should do a video on that, which involves me mostly seeing things that may not be there. And it could come in flashes of different crap that I don't even understand what's going on in my head. Mostly at night tends to help me, but sometimes during the day, just depends. And it's different things. But because of that, this person wanted me to write my experience of that. So I went ahead and did that, and she had emailed me yesterday so I can give my consent that yes, I agree to let her put this part in her book. And I don't think I'm gonna get paid for it, and it's not really about the money. Like my family was like, "How come you're not getting money out of it?" I go, "If I'm doing something regarding mental health and it's to help someone else out or help other people understand that we're not crazy, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and the money I don't really care about regardless." So I can't wait to how that turns out. And maybe I'll do a video like more in depth about my psychosis. I don't know if anyone wants to know about it, like more in depth of what it is. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. So I hope everyone has a great day.